Hi everybody, it's Deirdre Fay, and I got a post in the Safely Embodied Learning community, and I thought I would address it here because it's so true. It's something that is part of our everyday experience. I know it is for me. It's learning how do we make choice points and how do we turn away from what we're protesting and upset about or finding difficult and change towards something more um, more where we want to go, and also a much more healing and nourishing state. So I'm just going to use a bit of the email just to get me started and to have a place to frame it so you understand what I'm talking about. So in the Safely Embodied Learning community, I had posted a Yoga Nidra, which is a meditation that people can listen to that's about changing your woundedness, really, and drinking in a more secure attachment. I want to eventually get this up and so other people can use it, but right now it's only in that community. So a person listened to it and said that it was super activating. And then that was the first sentence, and the last one was, I worried my reaction might make Deirdre feel bad about her lovely Nidra. And I didn't. And here's why. And here's why it's helpful. We are going to get activated. We are going to get triggered. That is something we can't get away from. Remember when I was in graduate school, there was a whole class that got triggered by something the teacher said. And, it was like the assumption was we're in a class, we're in a teaching environment, we should be safe, true, but that we shouldn't be triggered. And I really stayed with that and really gnawed on that question. But the reality is we can't guarantee anybody to feel safe, anyone to be untriggered. We can try our best to create safety so that people's bodies and hearts and minds can relax, but we can't protect them in that way. And it's so hard, isn't that? Because of course I certainly want to do that, but the gift is how to use our triggered state as protest, as a way to guide us toward more. So with the person who wrote and said that this Yoga Nidra, which was about drinking in a secure attachment, the idea being is that how do we let our body, mind, heart just take in what it is that we're longing for, so that our body remembers and starts living in that state. But what's hard, right, is we get activated. This is just the fact of life, right? We get activated because it activates the unmet needs and longings. A couple weeks ago, I talked about how these needs, if they're not attuned to, get tucked away into the caverns of our system, our body, and we don't have easy access to it, and they erupt when life gets a little more complicated. So anytime they get activated, what erupts is the rawness of it. But in that rawness, it actually is information that's crucial. It's our transformational cauldron, because in that pain, in the suffering, in the trigger itself, is this incredible piece of guidance. In that trigger is we want something else. So this person said, this Yoga Nidra awakened a fantasy of a loving mother that I've carried along with me all these years. So what happens is that need, the unmet need, gets activated. I want that, but I didn't get that, right? That's the protest, and this person speaks about it. It's the protest. I didn't get what it is I wanted. So then we're in this quandary, and all of our protest is this quandary of, oh my gosh, I can't get what I want, right? And what I always say to people, and I say it to you again and again, I say it to myself, if I didn't get it, what do? I begin to listen to, I didn't get it. My body is saying, I need it, I want it. How do we know we need something if we think we shouldn't get it? We protest and we say it's not fair. Well, it's not fair that we didn't get it. That's true. But how does our body say it should be different? if it was supposed to be this way, we wouldn't be protesting. It would be this way, right? But the thing is, we're protesting. We're saying it should be different. It should be different because something inside, something really deep inside of us knows it should be different. It's learning to pay attention to that. So the unmet needs and the longings didn't get met. You didn't have the kind of care that you wanted. You didn't kind of get the support, the mentoring, the respect, the valuing, the being seen and known, the protection. You didn't get that. Okay? I'm sorry. Those words are inadequate to describe what you should have gotten. But here's the thing. You can get it now. It's really, really important to be able to have that and know that, and to know that you can have that. So how, though? If the agony comes up that says, I didn't have it, and we start protesting, I should have it, how do we take a tiny bit of that, just a little piece of it, of that, and say, how do I give that to myself? We don't have to give us the whole shebang because it's too much, right? But how do we take a tiny bit of it and take it in? So if I needed and wanted to be loved, right? This is kind of the central organizing principle for everybody, right? We all want to be loved. How specifically did you want and need to be loved? What would that have looked like? You can do it about the past, about a past figure. You could do it about a current moment. Like, what would it be like to be loved in this moment? What would it be like to be safe in this moment? How would you know in your external world specifically that you would be loved, cared for, wanted, reassured, soothed? Like, what would that look like? And then what does that feel like inside? Those are those two really key variables. What does it look like? And what does that feel like? And then once you have a clue about what it feels like, then you linger on that. You savor that. You smell it and taste it and feel it like it's the most exquisite perfume and yummy tasting yumminess that you could ever have. You let your body live in that state for as long as possible. And it may only be 5 seconds. Doesn't matter. Take that 5 seconds and just like make it as rich and powerful as you can. Because the more you do that, the more it gets more deeply encoded. And what you and I, we're all trying to do is encode the positive experiences as deeply and as profoundly as the negative, painful ones are. But if we're always focused on the pain and the suffering, our body just cues that way. It's a tripwire that opens up us into that all the time. So we have to learn how to train our system, our body, mind, and heart to go in a whole other direction and go toward what is going to be more nourishing in this moment. Donna writes, I would allow a person to hug me without terror or overwhelm. Great. So here's what I'd say then, Donna. Take that and imagine a person, not have it be an abstraction, but what would that person's eyes look like, their body look like? What would, if you were to touch their body and lean into their body, what would that feel like? What would it be like to, like, what are the signals that person would give you so that you would know that it was safe to be hugged by them? And then what would that feel like in your body? Just a tiny bit. We take a fraction of it and work with that. Just a fraction. Interesting. Sending you love. I hope it's to me and to Donna there. Andrea. Right. So this is it's the constant thing. Like right now I'm getting ready to lead another course in July and the workload is unbelievable. The details, I'm not a detail person. It's such a hard thing. So I have to do the same thing. Instead of letting myself get panicked, is slow down, take one little bit at a time. See, what would that feel like? What's it going to feel like when I have the interactions like with you guys? I didn't have to be on this Facebook Live today, but it's important to me, and I wanted to give back and contribute and help other people. I'm going to lend a hand just because I knew what I needed back in the day and didn't have it. So those are the things that inspire and motivate me, and then I can take it smaller and smaller bits and let that feed my heart and soul and body. I hope that's at all helpful. If you have a moment, send me a post right now, or a heart, or a thumbs up, or something, so I know, like, is this, there's one heart, yay. A thumbs up. I need those things, you guys. It helps me remember that we're connected and that it's making sense, right? So thank you guys for all that. And keep practicing, moving your body, mind, and heart toward where you want to go. Yes, you are going to get activated. Yes, you are going to get triggered. And step by step, we find our way. Step by step, that's all it takes. Little 5 seconds, 17 seconds. Maybe one day we can actually have 30 seconds. Great. Just keep lining up those positive moments and letting our body get used to being in that state. All right. Hey, thanks. Gwen said, yes, it's helpful. Thank you. Great. So, all wonderful. All wonderful. And thank you all. And Martha said, is what you're describing like heal? I think, Martha, what you're talking about is Rick Hansens' model. Is that right? I'm not 100% sure. I can never remember all the acronyms and where they come from. And if so, it is what Rick Hansen talks about, is linking the positives together. Yes, exactly. That's what we want to do. Link those positives. We want to literally reconfigure the old patterns and the old memories. In fact, we call it reconsolidating those memories, and that can be done. So Donna said it makes sense. The hard part is figuring out how thinly I can slice the moment. Isn't that the truth? Right. That is so key, is making it small enough. And you know, what we're looking for is the felt experience. So anytime you have a good place, something that feels right and good, hang into that, linger over that, let your body absorb it. It's like, oh, right. So in the Safely Embodied Learning community, in the Yoga Nidra about drinking in the secure attachment, you take in just the amount that you can. If it's activating, stop that. Don't keep listening. Just take what you can, drink it in. That's what I want. That little tiny glimmer, that like fragment of a second is what I want. And you take that fragment of a second and you absorb that and just deepen into it. Even tiny imaging send me into dizziness and nauseousness, Donna writes. You know, then Donna, what I'd say is learn to navigate that. Remember, everything rises, crests, and falls. Let yourself, okay, I'm just going to like be with that, because some of the energy people talk about how dizziness is actually a lot of energy trying to move through a stuck point in our field, and so it's going to be a little disruptive. I know recently I sprained an ankle, and my sister's an acupuncturist, so it was hurting, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and like this sharp pain. And I asked her what was going on. She said it's blood stagnation, whatever the heck that means. But it means, I guess, that the blood is just getting stuck there, and we have to, and it's this disruptive pain to wake us up. So I've been massaging it more and moving the energy around it more. And now it's not hurting. I don't wake up into that sharp pain because the energy, the blood, whatever we want to call it, is moving. So if that's helpful, use it and see. And part of it is, Donna, is you're trying to see, does this make a difference? You know, can this energy rise, crest, and fall? Is it easier? Can I sit with it? And if you can't, try something different. You know, it's not like there's one answer and one answer only, but you're just saying, can I stretch that moment out so it's not as intensely loaded? Oh, good. I'm glad that helped, Donna. Great. Gwen said, what about shame and those critical thoughts that interfere? Shame, what I would do there is, and which I've had to do, is look at, well, what is the shame about? What it's a protest. Shame is that protest saying it shouldn't be like this. It's intense, isn't it? Shame comes through really powerfully. So what is it my heart and soul and body is needing in that moment? I don't want that. Shame, what is it I want? What is it I need? And, use that as a frame to see, can I even just carve out a choice point in that moment? Oh, thanks, Andrea. Andrea says you're so inspiring and give so much hope. Andrea, thank you. And as all of you know, that it comes from, I had to do the same thing. And I am so committed and dedicated to finding ways for us all to have a more fulfilling life. So I'm so glad. That means a lot. Thank you. Okay, my dears, I got to go and do my own work and get some things on the ball. So thanks for joining me, and I hope this is helpful. And share it if it is, and absorb it and practice, and know that we're all in the soup together. Okay.